What's up, everybody? I finally got myself together. Oh, I had drama with the internet. I had to keep rebooting my router and everything. I just could not get online. So I'm over here sweating, trying to make sure I get here in time. I see all our guests are here, all smiles and bright and ready to go and talk about this important topic. I just want to let everybody know, in case you aren't real clear, what we're doing today is a panel discussion on this hot topic that's going through the Black community. It's called the divest movement, divestiture, where Black women are. This is like a war cry. They're like, divest, divest. Every time there's something that happens that's negative associated with Black males and how they interact and talk to Black women. So these ladies have a lot of, more knowledge about it than I do, because, I just do like relationship stuff. But it's a part of it, but kind of on a peripheral sense. So I wanted to get together a group of women who, actually know what they're talking about, rather than have me just research it and sit up here and talk about what I read. I want people who are here who can explain it to you, who are living it, who are talking it, who are doing shows on it, who are writing blog posts on it. So they're going to be here to answer your questions. I will call for questions a little bit later in the show after I talk to them. So you guys hold your questions. Don't ask them now because they won't get answered. Okay, just hold on to them, make a note somewhere. And then when I call for questions, post them up, and then we'll put them on the screen, and then they can respond to them. Okay. So let me start getting everybody here. Let's see. How do I do this? You guys gonna have to unmute your mics, and I'm gonna add you all to the stream. And let's see how we're gonna do this. Yeah, some people are here by, they're just audio only.
Yeah, I don't know if I want
And
to be
then
on the panel.
others are brave, and they're showing their smiling faces. So what I like to do first is have you all unmute your mics as you speak, and I would like for you to give them, the listeners, the watchers, viewers, whatever, a brief introduction of yourself. What? Who are you? Why are you here? What's your story? Okay, just, I don't know, maybe a minute or two. Not, we don't need an essay. just a brief introduction. Okay, let's start with you, Micah.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hold on a second. I always do this. Everybody else can hear you, so don't worry about it. Everybody else can
Oh,
hear you. Just start talking.
I'm Mika, and I started divesting back in 2010 because it's just the dating options were just very poor back then. I could just tell that I needed to go somewhere else, and that's about it. I'm 43. I've been married to my husband. He's a white guy for 4 years. We've been together for 8 years, and I've dated other white guys before him, but I didn't really like take it too seriously until I just realized there was no hope.
Oh
So
boy.
that's about
Okay,
it.
let me get sisters over here. Sister told ya.
Hey, hey.
Hey, lady.
So, when did I divest? I can't give you
Well,
like a
start with a
solid
little bit about
year.
yourself first. Tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
who you are as a
Okay.
woman.
So, I am 29 years old. I've just been made a mom to a beautiful little girl.
Oh,
Yes.
congratulations.
Yes. And I've been with my husband for 11 years now. I met him when I was 19 years old. Yeah, I'm going on 30. Yeah. So we met fairly young. He was 20 at the time, and I actually met him. Our anniversary is coming up. It's on Halloween. We met at a Halloween party.
Oh, how interesting.
And I just couldn't shake his ass ever since.
Right?
I'm a stay-at-home mom and a CrossFit coach, and I help women and train solely women. I help them find their confidence, and this is my wheelhouse, divestment, especially when it pertains to Black women.
Okay. All right, Aja, let's get you. What do you have to say? Tell us a little bit about yourself first as a person.
Of course. So I am 30 years old. I'll be 31 at the end of the month. I am from Chicago, Illinois. I am the eldest of 3 girls. I am from a 2-parent household. I am currently working at a law firm, a new job, which I absolutely love. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice pre-law, and I am a certified IBM cybersecurity analyst.
Go ahead, girl. That's what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
That's a lot to unpack.
Now let me go see what I can hack.
I knew it was going to come up once.
I know I had to get it out the way.
Let me see. I am single, child-free by choice. I've dated a little bit in the past. None of my ex-partners were Black. They were all Latino. They happen to be. There's a lot of things that contributed to my decision, but I did want to say that there's a lot of things that, as far as divesting from the Black community and Black men, I'm kind of seen as the black sheep in a lot of ways. I just defer from so many stereotypes about what's considered typical for a Black woman. And
okay, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Okay,
let me get the other 3. You guys can mute your mics, please, while we once you're finished speaking. Let me get Lexus in here. Lexus, can you unmute your mic and introduce yourself?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. Hello. I am just blown away by the beautiful melanated ladies here. Sister told you, my gosh, melanin popping and curls on fleek. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at her with her little weird thing.
Oh my gosh, I can't come up for obvious reasons. So brief introduction. So I'm 33 years old and I'm a pharmaceutical director. And I actually accidentally divested, which is really weird. Even when I talk about it now, I never intentionally divested. I was the worst, like pro-Black, religious, social justice warrior, supported everything Black, and always made excuses for these men until I finally dated one too many men that were losers. I ran the gamut, and I feel like I divested very young. So I actually divested technically, I guess, when I was in my mid-20s, and I've dated all of them: uneducated, educated, unemployed, abusive, adult,
girl,
all of it. All of it. And finally I was just like, enough. I got so fed up, and I didn't really intentionally divest. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to date who treats me well. So yep. And so I ended up meeting my husband who happens to be white 6 years ago. And I mean, he came in like a knight in shining armor. He swept me off my feet. He was everything that I was looking for when it comes to, you know, what we want, associated with masculinity. So a protector.
Okay, hold that thought. That's going to be another question. So okay. Mute your mic for a minute here, and let me get Danny up here, and then you, Dahlia.
Hello. Hi, Deborah. Hello, panel.
Hey, what's up, lady?
Hi. So my name is Danny Steele. I'm the host of Danny Steele, my channel on YouTube. And I started my channel out just trying to have fun, to be honest, you know, and just thinking I could have the same fun that any other woman on YouTube had. And then a lot of things came my way. So that was very surprising. But in terms of divestment, for me, I actually divested as a child. As Aja said, I'm also a black sheep. I've always been a black sheep in my family. So I've always been a black sheep, but just in the hood, right? I grew up in the hood during the crack cocaine epidemic. I went to private Catholic school on scholarship. I met my husband in undergrad, and we started dating when we were both in grad school. But I've always just had an understanding that the toxic cultural norms around me were wrong. And I was able to assess that based on the way other people moved in my school. So I always, you know, just knew like that's not the direction I want to go, the way that I'm seeing things. And I don't accept this. So that's how I came into divestment, and that's how I view divestment. And
okay, hold that thought. Okay. Let me get Dahlia in to introduce herself, because we're going to get more into that part. I just wanted you guys to just give a brief introduction so they would understand who they were talking to. So Dahlia.
Hi.
What's up?
Hi, panel. Hi. I'm Dahlia. I'm born and raised in San Francisco. I'm a legal professional, and I'm a first year law student. I just started, and I am a single mom of one son, single, never married. And I'm just over Black men. They are not the unicorn that everybody swears up and down that they are.
Well, yeah, I
Snap,
see you
snap,
got
snap the
people over here
fingers.
nodding in agreement. Okay. So while I have you on, let me start you with my list of questions here. And like I said, for those of you who are just coming in, we will be taking your questions for the panel, but not right now. So just listen to their responses. And then when we start taking questions, I'll pull them and put them across the screen for them to answer. Okay. So give us about, 20 minutes or so. Okay. Now, I would like you guys to each briefly explain what the term divest or divestiture or what this movement means to you, because I know I've been kind of asking people and I got so many different views. So I thought, okay, this would be a good question to ask the panel because, to see where you're coming from on this issue. So let's start with Dahlia since she was the last. We'll start with her this time and then go around.
Okay, so the divestment movement, based on what I've seen, is Black women divesting away from Black male dusties, which comes in many forms. Those Black men could be educated and dusty, uneducated and dusty, and just run the gamut of dustiness. Even though they have like education or money, their pathology in the way they view Black women and themselves is still the same, and it's detrimental to Black women. And we're tired of overcompensating for their own insecurities and their own, what's that word? They just feel so inadequate, and they act like every single Black woman is supposed to make up for those inadequacies simply because we are Black women, and we're tired of it. So we're not dealing with it. So we're ready to just leave y'all alone, that you go to your preferences, because they're still getting the same Black men that Black women get, even though you guys try to lie and say that they're not. And we're going to move on to the men of no color, who will give us everything that we want, while you guys sit in the corner and be mad because you tell us no one else will want us. But then
they do that,
other people want us, but then you're mad because they want us. But then they're going to give us everything that we wanted to get that you wouldn't give us, and they're going to give us that too, but you're mad. So that is the divestment movement as far as I'm concerned.
And you was getting all kind of toasts and snaps and claps and dap and all kind of stuff while you were talking.
Yes,
okay, so let's get some of Aja. What you got to add to this? I saw you over there snapping away.
I had to. Real quick, my name is pronounced Asia, like the continent.
Oh, Asia. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Divestment to me, as far as I take it, is just to rid myself of any situation or of anything that's not bringing me joy, anything that's not adding joy, happiness, fulfillment into my life. And as far as Black men, I think it's been a huge, crucial part of me growing up and creating the lifestyle that I want. Because I look around me every day and I think of how different my life would be had I chose to put up with a lot of things I thought I was obligated to put up with. The disrespect, the degradation, when Black men approach me, it's almost like the pleasure is all mine. It's like I should be so grateful that they find me worthy of their dustiness and of their just,
that's a favorite word on this channel.
I had their ashiness. I use that word too, the ashiness, come to me and treating me like I'm just supposed to be grateful for their attention. And like someone else said, when other men of different races give us the same attention, it's almost like they can't believe that other men find us worthy of love and effort and attention and just genuine respect. And I think as Black women, it's very important for us we can pick and choose our battles, but as far as divesting, I think it's on the rise. Hear about it and see it all the time, and it's a movement.
Okay, Lexus, I'm gonna do like a vocal person, a visual person, a vocal person, visual. Okay, Lexus, what you got to say?
Yeah, and I want to preface this with saying I'm very long-winded, so please interject if I get too wordy. So, but okay, so no, the ladies, I want to piggyback on what the ladies said. So when I think of divestment, I think of the opposite of investment. So no longer investing in things that don't benefit you. And this can be personal, it can be professional. So you might have a job that's a dead-end job that, you're not going to, work yourself to death at that job if there's no opportunity or potential there. Familial, I have toxic family relationships that I divest from. And I think that it's discussed most often in the context of Black women dating, because that's where the need to divest is the most prevalent. You get what I mean? And I mean, these Black women on this panel, if you're a Black woman, chances are, a successful Black woman who might be educated, she might be career-oriented and very successful, but is dating a loser, a dusty, like y'all said, who sleeps on the couch all day and he eating the kids' snacks and he's just not adding any value to her life. So long story short, divestment to me means just no longer engaging in unreciprocal relationships. So only engaging in relationships or any type of interaction that adds direct, tangible benefits to your life.
Okay. That's a good summary. All right. Let's get you in here, sister.
Lexus really encapsulated all of it, honestly. But to paraphrase, it's think of the decision that you're going to make and does it serve you best, right? So a lot of the times that means that you might have to abstain from Blackistan. Even politics that don't serve you, politics that are not your own narrative, a workplace that's not serving you, men who are not serving you, be it Black, be it white men who overly identify with the Black male plight, people in proximity. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and you saying that just, yeah. I'm glad you guys are here.
Because them is trash too. Divesting from, I've even had to divest from some who were Black male sympathizers, right? Thinking about where you're going to spend your time, because you as a woman, whatever you spend your time with, it's going to multiply. That is the nature of feminine energy, right? So if you pair bond with dust, what are you going to get? Dust, right? It also and it
uh-oh, she froze.
Oh man, I was enjoying her.
We're doing circle. Okay, now we're back
there.
Okay. You didn't miss anything. It also means positioning yourself in such a way that it serves you best, right? And I think a lot of the time, Black women, we have encapsulated love in a Disney movie, right? And we're not thinking with forethought what's going to be the long haul. All right. We need to start considering things like generational wealth. We need to understand that the partners that you choose, that socioeconomic status is going to be reflected on your child too. Right.
Right.
So if that dust bucket is a dust bucket, I don't want to talk about nobody's kids, but you have to understand these are tough truths that we have to talk about. You understand?
Oh, honey, you don't have to tell me. I wrote an article probably about 15 years ago called The Stupid Motherfucker Gene. And it basically talks about how so many things are not just inherited, like genetically, but also from, environmentally by being in close proximity to foods. So you have a food, likelihood of your child turning out to be just like that food is very high. So yeah, I mean, the article, I kind of wrote it tongue in cheek, but then the more information we got about DNA and chromosomes and genes and things over the last, 2 decades. Dead on. I was like prophetic. All right, let me see one more radio person. Danny.
Yes, I agree with everything everyone is saying as well. For me, divestment has always been, I've always approached it, especially on my channel, in terms of what the goal of divestment is. And for me, the goal of divestment is breaking generational curses and trauma, healing from the toxic cultural norms and trauma that you endured, and fulfilling, your ultimate goals in life, fulfilling your dharma. And that's really always been my way of looking at it. And I can't fulfill my dharma. I can't be the best person I want to be if I'm catering to other people's needs. It's just common sense. So you really have to start looking out for yourself, looking out for your health, because you realize that by being conditioned to accept this kind of second-class treatment in your own communities, you're being conditioned to accept second-class treatment everywhere. You'll notice that, people at work treat you less than, strangers will treat you less than, friends, everyone's expecting more from you and giving you less, and there's no reciprocity. So for me, my ultimate goal has always been, I'm not a male-focused individual. I'm just not. I've never really thought about them. My father being out of the home, I thought, okay, good. Every time he's around, he does nothing. He brings nothing to that table, right? So I grew up not seeing men in the house, and I just thought that they, popped up for various reasons, right? My husband, of course, has shown me differently about what men actually do. But I think that for me, I'm always going to focus it on the healing part. And because you'll go back to you'll be picking dusties of a different race. I promise you. You see it time and time again. You'll be picking dusties of different ethnicities and whatnot if you don't understand how to vet and what causes that degradation in the first place.
Tell it, girl. All right, let's read Miss Micah. Your last comment. Then we're gonna open up everyone's mic and do popcorn style for the other questions.
It's Mika. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
I'm just slaughtering everybody's name today.
Well, just backing off of what everyone else said. I mean, you can, it's putting myself first, self-love and loving myself, to not accept less than. And like a lot of the ladies, I was raised in a suburb and, with very nice things. So for myself to downgrade because they don't really want to do anything to better themselves, I did it. I was hard-headed, but for me, it's like putting myself first and going for the people that's treated me the best. And I've only been abused by people of color, I should say. So, for me. So for divesting, for me, it's like just leaving Blackistan alone. I don't even go into the city. I don't like to deal with them. I just, like anybody that's, I don't know how to say it, but just don't carry themselves a certain way. And I just don't like to be around all that. So for me, it was easy. Just like I said, I did it years ago just to be like, okay, I'm done with this. And I moved way out. I live way out in the country now. And I just left it all behind. So
you look all at peace and everything. Just
she very peaceful.
Skin all glowy and everything.
We have deer out here.
Oh, nice. All right, so you guys can open your mics up. And I want to know what you think about this statement. I don't even know where I found this. How true is the statement? Quote, Black women's poor outcomes are almost exclusively tied to our unending support of and loyalty to Black males, often at our detriment.
I agree.
That's very true. Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
support of and loyalty to Black males, often at our detriment, is the part that got me.
Yes.
Yeah, can I attest to that, to what you're saying, Deb?
Go ahead, girl.
Okay, good. So if we look at the data, and so I like to look at quantitative data, and I like to look at research just to be able to be like conscious of like different themes and trends that are happening. And
Can you identify yourself? Because the people keep asking, who's this talking? Who's this talking?
Sorry, it's Lexus Exodus. Okay. I know some of you guys recognize my voice, but it's Lexus Exodus. So no, so these men, if you look at the data, they lead the felony conviction rates. So they also lead the poverty rates. They have very high domestic violence rates. Yep. They have very low marriage rates, but all of these illegitimate children everywhere. And also I follow another content creator, and I won't say her name because I want to respect your platform, but she counts every day how many stories that she comes across of Black women and girls who have been victimized and who have lost their lives at the hands of these men.
Oh, I think I featured that website on a show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, she's good. She's so good. And where the last count this past week was 913 Black women and girls who have lost their lives just in the States alone this year. Right. And the studies show that all of this violence is intraracial, meaning that it happens at the hands of men that belong to these communities. I really do believe that we are so loyal that we will die behind this. And it's such a bizarre thing. It's such a really odd, weird thing. Like, we'll see these stories every day. We'll see it within our community. I remember growing up in Blackistan and seeing like the neighbors fight, and the next door neighbor every Friday he'd get drunk and beat his wife. But for whatever reason, we're just in such a really extreme state of denial. I really do believe that it'll be the death of us. So that statement that you read, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay. Any other comments?
If I could just add on to what Lexus was saying, and I was thinking about this as she was speaking. Ms. Deb, and you've mentioned this fact a couple of times on your channel. Black women are the most religious demographic in America. In my personal opinion, and this may be controversial, throw it up for debate. But
we love controversy on this channel.
I was raised and brought up in a Christian household, and I saw a lot of things that I didn't like, and the things that I didn't like were coming from that book. The notion that the woman is supposed to be submissive. She is supposed to, do all these things. And as Black women, I think because our pain and our suffering and our burdens have been so thorough, a lot of us turn to religion for that comfort, for that feeling of, peace. But as you mentioned, it's often detrimental. We cling to that to the point that we're willing to undergo, like you said, we're losing our lives out here. Some women, Black women, because we're considered the bottom of the totem pole, we're willing to sacrifice our dignity just to say, well, I got a man, I got a Black man, I serve him, I do this because the Bible says so. Well, this is what God wants for me. What do you want for you? That's always been my thought about it. I feel like I divested from religion as well. For me, that's been one of the smartest decisions I've ever made, taking the risk of thinking for myself. I wish a lot more Black women did that instead of kind of trying to fall into line of what's expected of them. Take the risk of thinking for yourself, and don't be afraid if you have to step out on your path alone, if it takes you a while to figure out what it is you want and what it is you deserve. But I feel like going by a book that was written by people who didn't know dinosaurs existed, didn't know, why volcanoes erupted, didn't know where germs came from. I'm not following a book like that.
Church up in here.
Okay. No pun intended. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to follow a book by people who had no idea where the sun went during the nighttime and the stars. I'm like, you're going to let a book tell you how to live your life, how to raise your kids, how and when to find a man? You're going to let a book tell you? That's why I divested. It was nonsense. Yeah. And I think the sooner Black women divest from that, the happiness and truth and wisdom will come to us.
Let me tap in. Let me tap in. Yes. Yeah. Let me add to that though. You've heard in a lot of Blackistan spaces, the Black man is God. You know how much that's getting us fucked up?
Tell it, girl. Look at her. She fits right in on this channel.
Seriously. No, but like there was a challenge. There was a challenge. It was called For the Dick Challenge. Y'all remember that?
Wait, what?
What? I missed that.
Y'all remember
memo.
that?
I
remember.
I missed that.
2017. Yes.
Oh,
and you
Lord.
had black women that were camming up, rapping. I can't tell you the beat. I don't.
Oh my God.
I don't know what these. I don't know these Dusty Nakers beats like that, but they literally they were saying these because they are incantations, all the things they would do for the dick.
Wow.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Now, and the reason, and the funny thing is like, Asia, you're right. Asia, I'm sorry, forgive me. Asia, you're absolutely right? But to add to that,
God.
the attraction to black men is almost psychosexual. It is. Yep. You talking about and I'm quoting, and I don't want to curse. Quoting.
Why not?
Okay. Well, in quote, she said, "I'll fuck a fag for that dick."
What? Wow.
What? Yeah.
Oh, you know where they got
I would
this
rob
from?
for the dick.
No, that's
this
crazy.
came from Insecure because Issa Rae was making this beat on the show, and she was playing in the mirror, and she started saying it, and I didn't know it caught on outside because she was like,
"It did.
I do this for that."
Wow,
and then she
that's
was like,
crazy.
People do realize that
and
show
she was
was
in
a
a mirror
comedy,
doing
right?
that, and it was, and I didn't know people had caught on, and then turned it into this whole thing.
I missed
it was
that.
just a joke. It was just a joke within the show for her character.
Yeah, shit. That's
and
the
then
comedy.
I guess people took it and ran with it because that's all it was. She was just doing an ad lib for the show for the character, and then people, I guess, took it and ran with it. I didn't know it was outside of that show.
That's wild. That's wild. That's something that
crazy.
Would catch on.
Because I'm
that's wild. That's something that would catch on, and that's what I'm talking about. It's psychosexual. Absolutely foolish. Talking about all the things that you would do for the dick, and let's just be honest. They didn't say, black peen, but a lot of these black women strongly identify with and they have shown symptoms of black male sympathy. Yep. It's psychosexual, and I saw a lot of it during the GF protest when we had Floyd 19 happening. I saw a lot of that. I also saw white women holding signs talking about, if you suck black peen, then open your mouth for Black Matters. You see how reduced we are?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Do you see how
I remember some of those pictures. It was just ridiculous.
As if the systemic issues that happen with black people are synonymous with black penis.
I mean, you had white women
black
out
issues.
there
They
with
always talk
signs
about
with
black
their minor daughters with these vulgar signs referencing black peen. I was just like, y'all have no shame.
I feel like I live in a bubble because I didn't know anything was happening. This is terrible.
Yeah, it's psychosexual. And saying things like the black man is God. When I'm watching the Catholic priest kiss the black Madonna, got me fucked up. Somebody called it poverty peen. Somebody called it poverty dick.
Yeah, it's poverty penis.
And that's what I called
poverty penis.
Okay, but how you gonna be a guy with no financial resources of any kind?
No kingdom.
You don't have no kingdom. You don't have no food.
How you gonna be a king?
Mattresses.
Being a hobo.
mattresses.
You're a home king, but you worried about getting shot.
Yeah, and y'all don't even take a bath and wash their asses, but they want to be worshipped. Y'all don't even wash your asses, so I don't get it. Hygiene, all that. Really,
it's black women out here who are putting them up on that pedestal because if it wasn't to that extent, they would have nothing to work with. They believe that because they were born black and with the peen, that means respect, submission, all that should be automatic. It's not something that should be earned. It's not something that is.
They think they're the chosen people from the Bible. I'm like, who told y'all that lie? Who sins did you die for? I'm still trying to figure that out because somebody
be delirious.
Point me somewhere. They delusional.
The Hebrew Israelite.
That's why I said it's psychosexual.
All of them. all of them think they like some omnipotent being who descended from on high on a cloud. That's not y'all.
Hey, can I say something? So I think it's interesting that you guys are talking about incantations and how it's almost religious, how we're indoctrinated in this manner. So one of my favorite artists, I love her. She's so talented, but her music is so problematic. Summer Walker, she has a song where she says, "I'll go to hell or jail about you, boy."
It's like, does she know what she really saying though?
Yes,
I don't think she know what she really saying. Like, girl,
over and over and over again, and that's the hook. Is I will go to hell or jail about you, boy.
But he ain't gonna go for you though.
Listen, but I think it's almost called because like you said, those are mantras and words mean things.
Planting seeds.
And so I really do believe that we're just indoctrinated, and it's no wonder all of us are brainwashed in this manner because it's in our music, it's in our media. We just talked about in my Discord about how like movies in the 90s that were kind of like renowned and seen as like these really celebrated movies like Baby Boy and Soul Food, all these problematic toxic relationships that were upheld and were celebrated in the media were kind of like force fed to us, and that's the reason why, and we wonder why everything's so damn dysfunctional and problematic and why the bar is set so low for us. So
I didn't see that as that force feeding us. You know what I saw that as? A reflection of how so many Black women are really living.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from one perspective, I can see what you're saying, that but since I'm older than you guys, it's stuff I've seen in my lifetime. So to me, those movies were taking pictures of reality. That's how those are the situations a lot of sisters was living in. So it wasn't a lie. It was just telling the truth about some of the choices that they make. Were those healthy, sane choices? I'm not going to get on that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it was reality. That's why it didn't, nobody really had a problem with it. Like what you're saying, it was too real. That's just the cut, like the dude going to prison, all that cheating with the cut, just all of it, very real stuff.
So Deb, I want to say one thing quickly, and I'll let other people speak. But so what I think about is Baby Boy. I love this movie. When I was way back when. And it was about a man in his late 20s, and he had multiple children by multiple women. He rode a bike. he was unemployed, and he would steal his girlfriend's car to cheat on her. And then I remember the climax of the movie was them getting into this confrontation, and he hit her and she cried. And to remedy it, he went down on her. And for me, I thought that was the bee's knees as a little 11-year-old kid. I'm like, okay, so this is normal. This toxicity is normal. So,
I gotta laugh at you, late.
Listen, I was in the trenches, y'all. I'm so transparent about it. I didn't know any better. I didn't know. All I saw was toxicity. And as a kid, I thought that was normal. And I'm like, oh, this is a cool movie. And although I think it was accurate, what I also think is that it taught us to have really, really low expectations, and it normalized it. Like it normalized all that BS. And it took a lot of unlearning for me to, to understand better. But that's where I was. And I think a lot of my friends were there too. My friend group was there. So
I just want to piggyback off of that. Like growing up in the hood, like I was telling the story the other day. My sister had like a Lloyd Banks poster in her room, and I had like Dawson's Creek and I was just very confused as to why she would have this grown man on her wall. And then it was like free Lloyd Banks. I guess he was in jail and stuff like that, and I later came to understand, like, she was being indoctrinated into these beliefs at the same time that I chose a different path, which not every Black kid gets to choose because they don't have proximity to like suburban kids. Right. And going to private school, I just chose to hang out with the kids in my school more as I got older and older. So I chose to be indoctrinated by what Americans I'm sorry, is that echo? I chose to be indoctrinated by like what America teaches. Do you guys hear that?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
we probably need to move.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. So anyways, I chose to be indoctrinated by like kind of what America was telling people, you know. I loved Brad Pitt. Like I love Brad. To this day, you can't tell me nothing about Brad Pitt, you know. And so I think that definitely that indoctrination in the media, in the movies, and in the music is very I wonder why we're so susceptible to that, because I grew up in the hood and in the foster care system. I didn't even grow up with my own family members, right? And I still chose to not do the things that I saw around me. I still understood that rap music was rap music. And I was, in the streets, right? I was in the hood, in the worst of hoods, right? But I still was like, I deserve better. So I think that the Black community has a tendency to escapism. So I think that there's a lot of escapism, which is why these men, get this idea of themselves, delusions of grandeur, thinking that they are, better than they are, doing better than they are, not seen the way that they are actually seen, things like that. I think there's delusions of grandeur in the escapism. And I think that the women are being indoctrinated to accept less. Absolutely. So all of those things combined, what you have is toxic cultural norms that you have to really stop and understand, like, this is what's going on, and do the undoing work, right? And really like reteach yourself. That's something that I had to do on my own, but it's possible. And I think that that's where you start when it comes to healing.
Deborah, you're muted.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. See my lips moving. If you could read lips, then you know what I said. Okay, I want to get another question on the floor. From your perspective, how would divesting help Black women both now and in the future? And on the flip side of that, is there a downside to divesting away from the Black community? Anybody with an answer? Anybody with a thought? Try to keep your comments down to like a minute or two.
I can think. You know what? Go ahead, Asia. Go ahead.
You sure?
I'm positive. Go ahead.
Well, as far I can speak to as the negative aspects of divesting from the Black community, like I was saying in the beginning of my introduction, it's caused me to be a black sheep to a certain extent. Divesting from religion, that's a big one. I have chosen to never get married.
Me too.
Personally, I don't feel like it was never a priority for me. Again, as a Black woman, you're kind of side-eye for that in the community. Mm-hmm. I have chosen to never have children. I love not having kids. That is never going to change. Definitely as a Black woman, people side-eye you. If people are okay with us not being married, because a lot of us aren't, but at least have kids, that's their mindset. Well, you at least got to make some babies. You don't got to be married, but at least cross that off your list, Mm-hmm. And when you decide to stray away from, like I said, what's considered normal, what's considered acceptable in the community, you have to divest from your friends, for some of your family. People look at you differently. They treat you differently because they don't know how to approach you, because you're that other. When you divest from things that no longer bring you joy or bring you peace, again, as Black women, we're expected to bear the burdens of everybody else in our community. That's what we're conditioned to do. It's ingrained, in our culture a lot. And when you choose to forego all that, you kind of have to decide, is this worth it? Is it worth losing friends, losing family, losing support? You don't have, if you don't have, all that behind you, you're considered a loose cannon. And that's the only bad part I see, the judgment and people trying to convince you that you're the crazy one.
Okay. That's real. That's good. Okay. Anyone else want to chime in on that? What's the pros for Black women and girls of divesting? But then, just to be fair, we have to also consider that there may be a downside to this.
I think one of the pros is that you make a choice to put yourself first. And I think that that's something that Black women just don't know how to do. I think that, you know, I'm gonna go to the cons real quick, right? Like I don't have the relationship that I would like with family, with friends. People find me to be a radical. Okay, I'm 24/7 with it. You know, I'm 24/7 with it. I got pamphlets. I got, you know, what you need. Like, we're talking about the issues. We're discussing the issues, and people just want to relax and chill. And they don't want to hear about breaking generational curses on Thanksgiving Day. You know what I'm saying? So I've been, just like Asia said, I've been black sheep as well, and I've learned that that's going to be a part of my journey, and it doesn't hurt so much anymore. And if you're not willing to be strong and face the fact that this is going to isolate you, you can't talk about divestment and you're chilling with everybody and you're chilling with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point you're going to have to step away and put yourself first. Everyone's going to play you when you're a black woman. That's what I learned the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to try you, everyone. And it's very sad. I've had to, you know, be very strong with, you know, with strangers, you know, people are like, whoa, why are you coming so aggressive? I'm like, I'm healing, you know, I gotta put myself first, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll come off crazy a little, but I think it's a blessing in the end, because we teach people how to treat us, and I will no longer let people think that treating me subpar is the way that it's gonna go. It's just not gonna happen.
Okay, I want to hear from Danny. She's been kind of quiet over here.
I am Danny.
I'm sorry. Dahlia. Dahlia. I need you guys to have a different voice. Okay.
Yeah, I can answer that if it's okay. So
I would love that.
Okay, so awesome. So pros. So I think that you just get access to a different culture of men. So the culture of men of other groups, they are indoctrinated to build resources and to build infrastructure and to cultivate assets and to cultivate resources. They just are. And I think that, like, what we're dealing with within the community is a cultural issue. So, you know, we're told through music and media and our movies that, you know, even, you know, in the music, okay, I don't want to cuss on your platform, but bees ain't ish, but you know what I mean? We're told that, and that's like drilled into us.
Right.
Also, the movies and like a lot of popular culture were denigrated and devalued. So I think that what happens in other cultures with other groups of men is they value that familial bond. They value family, that, you know, it's not normalized to pump and dump and to have children and not wed the mother of your children. It's not normalized to, you know, to abandon them. So that's the pros, is you get access to a totally different culture where the men really understand and really epitomize how important it is to be a protector and a provider. The cons, very quickly, I think, like some others have said, you're going to get isolated. I mean, it just comes with the territory. You're going to get called. I get called a bed wench every day. I do. And yeah. They are nasty to me. They are nasty to me. I get side eyes. I get called everything but a child of God. But you know what?
God.
Listen, but what matters to me, though, and what's most important to me is self-preservation. So if I'm happy in my personal life, and if I'm feeling good, and if my husband is treating me well, I don't give a damn about what anyone else thinks, because I'm happy. And when I compare my life to other people who haven't divested, it's not the same. So that probably is only con, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, thank you. No, that sums up a lot of really good points. Okay, anybody else want to chime in?
The cons has already been stated, is isolation. Yes. The pros is there's so many pros, but I don't want to be long-winded, but the ones that have not been stated already is that you get acclimated to a culture that is different from yours, right? You get acclimated to a culture that is more in proximity to wealth. And I have to say, my mother-in-law has taught me a lot. And it's not just because she's actually European. She's taught me a lot in a way that, cultural norms Okay, background. So my mother-in-law, she comes from, she married into wealth, right? So, however, she was poor, right? And I got to see and watch how she moved because, like, I've been with my husband for 11 years now. And I got to see how she acclimated herself. And I found that the differences were less about her being white and I being black, but it was a different class.
Right.
Right. And it was the details that I got to understand. Right. I got to understand that when we're going to this work event with my husband, I should pay attention to what his boss is drinking. Say if he's drinking Sauvignon Blanc, right? And he wants to ask for a promotion next week, you know. So if we invite him over, the details, maybe I should have Sauvignon Blanc for him, right? It's those kinds of things, you know, when when men ask you, what do you bring to the table, right? When men ask you what you bring to the table, right?
I bring Chenin Blanc.
It's these details, it's positioning, you understand? So I got to learn from my mother-in-law how to navigate social hierarchies from watching her and how she's done it. You know, I was born in Baltimore. Okay. I graduated with a GED. All right. I didn't graduate. I obtained a GED. And I know this is kind of off topic, but a lot of the times when I hear divestment, I hear women who are highly educated. I hear college degrees, right? And for a woman like myself or someone with my pedigree, right? We might think that divestment is too far, too difficult of a thing to grasp, right? And I was born in Baltimore. All right. I got drug dealers, I got murderers, I got pimps, I got child molesters. I also got 3-time Golden Glove champion boxers in my family. A woman. I got a professional basketball player in my family. She tours the world. That's a woman. That's what I have in my family, right? So a part of divestment was understanding social hierarchies, being acutely aware of the class that you're in, paying attention. If you don't know something, right? Don't say anything. Just watch and observe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So while I want to congratulate our educated sisters, thank you very much. We really appreciate you. Okay. Because we are getting into STEM, right? I love seeing my reflection when I gave birth to my daughter. Okay. I also want to create some space for women who are like myself, you know. I was raised in an environment that was very tumultuous, okay? And I wasn't able or afforded any time to just breathe, right? I spent a lot of my high school waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning and doing chores and going to sleep at midnight, right? So, being the fact that this is my lineage, I saw that that's not something I wanted to get down with, right? I don't want to start trauma bonding. But what I'm saying is sometimes Black women, a lot of us might feel obscured or think like divestment is not something that's obtainable because I was supposed to grow up. I beat a statistic. I was supposed to be the child of a crack whore, right? I was supposed to be pregnant at 15. You know, I wasn't supposed to find myself in an affluent place in the Southeast and in the beautiful home with the husband that I have, right? I was supposed to come up short for the rent. Now I pay a mortgage. I don't pay mortgage because I don't give men money. But anyway.
I understand. Okay. I got you, girl. I just want to
make sure that divestment is not just for college educated, upper echelon Black women, but it's for that little girl that was born in Bronx, Baltimore City, born to a child molester. Look, just shut the fuck up and watch and listen and see what you do and what you don't want, you know?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to have one more comment before we go on to the next question? No? All right. Let me consult my list because I just had so many things I just wanted to ask. Okay. Now this is going to be this is one I wanted to get your opinion on. Okay. So whenever we tend to have a, really honest discussion about the behaviors of Black men towards Black women and girls, there's always that at least one person who's going to come up with, well, why you say that? What about the good Black men? My daddy, my brother, my husband, my boyfriend, my son, my cousin, my goldfish is not like that. You guys just know, bad guys. You picked them. And this actually can come from men or women. What is your response to people with that mentality who say those kinds of things, a response to the cry to divest? Yeah, you've heard it. Y'all know you heard it. That's all they say. They always, what about the good Black men? There's good Black men.
Forgive me. Go ahead.
I can answer that too.
When I hear that, I tell them, this is what I tell them. It's like, okay, so if you're a good Black man, then, why are you letting the Ray Rays and Pookies and these degenerates in the community terrorize the community, terrorize the Black women, leave them pregnant, no marriage? If you're such a good man, then why aren't you doing anything about it? Instead, you left or you turn a blind eye. So for me, you're not a good man. You're just as bad as they are. So that's what I tell them.
Girl, you must be my twin.
Can I
say?
Can I throw
a lot of the people that? Oh, I'm sorry, Asia. You speaking?
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make this quick because
yeah,
I have a perfect analogy for this. And I was thinking about the other day about situations that I've been in. As far as people saying, "Oh, well, what about the good Black men? X, Y, and Z." Here's my analogy for that. Say you have a pack of M&Ms, right? Regular, not the peanut kind. You have the regular bag of M&Ms, and let's say however many pieces come in a bag of M&Ms, 10 of them are poison. They look, smell, and taste just like the rest of them. You can't tell which ones are poison. Are you going to pick through each one and sniff and lick and taste and try and figure out which one is or isn't poison? Or is it safer to just kind of set the whole pack aside and not deal with it? That's how I felt about it recently. And I'm not
there ain't never just one M&M either. That M&M got poisonous as friends.
Exactly. That's my point. It's not just the one. So are you going to dig through each one and try and figure out, well, this one might be poisonous, but this one isn't, but this one looks okay, and that one? Or are you just going to say, you know what? I don't need these damn M&Ms.
One M&M spoiled the whole bag. The whole bag is
that's
ruined.
my personal philosophy about that.
Well, really, it's only like 3 good M&Ms in there. The other 97 are bad. I mean, it might be like 3.
I want to get back on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alexis.
Okay, I'll be really, really quick. So I think we need to start focusing on the collective.
Yep.
And that's it. So Black women, I think our problem is that we can't tell the forest from the trees. So collectively, we need to review the recurrent themes and the recurrent trends that are happening here. These men lead the felony conviction rates. They lead the domestic violence rates. I even read on a content creator's website about how there's studies that show that they lead the rates for those who are diagnosed with narcissism. So it's a mess. And who wants to deal with that, y'all? Like, who want to deal with that? Who want to deal with? Yes, and who want to search through all that? Like, y'all are sitting here, and I'll never forget a really poignant, really impactful statement that I heard from another creator. I can't remember her name, but she said that you guys, Black women, like to search for the needle in the haystack. What we need to do is go to the needle factory. So what we need to do instead of it's just
I like that.
Needles
Yeah.
hurt too. Looking all getting stabbed the fuck up.
Just go straight to the source and just
go straight to the source, though. That's my point. Is like, if instead of looking for this unicorn amongst this group of men who collectively don't tend to be the type of men that we want, let's go to the groups of men who tend to be the type of men that we want.
Amen.
So that's
it. And to add to that, okay. You know, you got to understand, like, even if this is an exceptional Tyrone, you got to understand, do you feel like the stress of every time your husband or your, well, forgive me because he won't marry you, but every time he leave the house, he could get shot. Nobody got time for
almost
that.
got up and ran off.
I can't.
You ain't got time to worry about if he gonna get shot by the cops. You ain't got time. Now I'm not saying he did deserve it or whatever, because that's not my business. I mind my feminine business. Well, that's their grave they dug. You ain't got time to worry about he reaching for his wallet. You got to tell him how to behave. Got to have a hand at 10 to 2.
That's like having a child. That's like having an adult child. We don't have time for that. We
don't have time because proximity to them is dangerous. Yep. I'm not trying to be funny, but in close proximity, it is dangerous. His taste in food might put you in the wrong neighborhood, because if he's leading you, he's going to lead you with Blackistan tendencies. So even if he is a good Tyrone, Dusty, whatever you want to call him, but he got relatives that is dusty. Okay, he got circles and friends and shit that is dangerous, right?
They do.
I got time.
So they're genetically dusty then. So just stay away.
The only thing I want to do is stay away. The only thing I want to point out about when they say not all is that, like for me, like I said before, like I was doing like goofy stuff on my channel, and then they came over to my channel years ago when I first started, being like, "Why you with that white man? Why you with that white man?" So there's a lot of, oh well, if you happy with white man, you know, you be minding your business. But it's like y'all act like y'all leave black women alone. Cut the cap. Y'all don't leave black women alone. When we walking down the street, y'all coming up, they're hitting on me when I was with my husband. So cut the cap. Like seriously, it's strangers, it's street harassment, it's online, it's your own daddy. I didn't choose that. You know what I'm saying? When you got beef with my moms, why you ain't raising your kids? But then everybody all of a sudden had a daddy, right? When you know, so it's like they make up lies. They change the goalposts. They'll do anything to deflect from the reality of their situation as black men in America. And it's all of them. And it's a generational issue that needs to be addressed.
That's right.
Yeah. Amen.
And I have something to add. This is Dahlia. I have something to add. When they say, what about the good black man? If you got to tell a woman that you a good black man, you ain't shit. No, you not. You not. Good black men are good men, period. They going to show you. Their actions are going to be consistent. No.
Oh, he is fine, girl. He is cute.
Because I am sick of them. But according to the National Institute, black women have the lowest standard of men to choose from than any other ethnic group. Now, if that ain't gonna make you divest, I don't know what to tell you.
Yes.
Now, and statistics
I have another
lie.
question for you, ladies, to move this a bit along.
Sorry.
That's okay. What do you think? Okay, you know, these people are very upset. I mean, I got a lot of flack even just for scheduling the show. When you say anything about divest, people lose their minds. Well, not everybody, but a large number of people wrote some ridiculously awful messages and comments that we deleted. Either my cousin deleted them or I deleted them before they, you know, went live on the page here. But this topic seems to trigger people. And I wanted to get your take on what it is that you think is so, what's their point? Why are they so upset that there's, this movement is gaining momentum and Black women are getting tired of their crap? Who wants to deal with this nonsense over and over for their entire lifetime? But the fact that you don't want to and that you are publicly saying so is flipping them out. So I wanted to, popcorn style again. You guys, try to keep your comment down because I'm going to start taking some questions from the viewers too.
This is Dahlia. The reason why they're mad is because they're not going to be able to use Black women as mules anymore. Black women are not going to be running around here like Celie from The Color Purple no more. And they're not going to be able to use Black women for their resources in their homes, in their bodies, in their bank accounts, in their credit anymore. You're going to have to go to your preferences and go use up their resources and go leave them single mothers.
Yep.
Okay?
Because it's the creme de la creme that's leaving. Because a lot... The creme de la creme is leaving. Yes, it is. The creme de la creme is leaving.
We've been tired.
Yeah, you got women who have like Lexus Exodus. Women who are highly educated, women who are loyal to a fault. You understand? So it's quality women that are leaving. And it is not until you leave that really your presence is missed.
Yep.
It really is.
Oh, yeah. They don't want to put our backs on them. They know it's over.
And it encourages a chase, right? So when you leave, when you run, the bear chases, right? But if you're always like a sitting duck waiting, pick me, pick me, pick me, pick me. Then
what? I'm with you.
Then your presence is annoying. It's annoying as shit. It really is annoying. So your silence is loud, and that's what divesting is. And it's unfortunate that we garner that, but that's just physics, man. It's just somebody knows. That's law with law of attraction shit. Forgive me, I keep cursing. This summer low, but when you leave, it encourages a chase.
Right.
Hey, can I answer
that
question?
We need some of your wine.
Oh, I want to answer that question, y'all. So, so I want to piggyback on what Sister Toe just said. So I think that the message that divestors are sharing is very triggering to these men because it calls them out. Directly, it calls them out. So black men don't like to be men. They don't like to be held accountable. They don't like to have to experience culpability or accountability. It's really hurtful. And here's my thing, like on the other end, like we've experienced a lot of criticism, and in response, Black women, we became more resilient. We became smarter. So there was a trope about welfare mothers. What did Black women do in response? We became the most highest educated groups of women.
Yes.
We also started businesses at an exponential rate. So we have the capability to kind of take that criticism and use it and learn from it and grow from it. Black men don't do that because we coddle them and we have the tendency of really just to enable them, and we just don't hold them accountable. So I think the reason why they get so triggered is because we created some monsters, y'all. I really do. I think that, we have a history of not holding them accountable. So in response, they just get triggered and get very, very upset because they're not accustomed to getting any types of critique from us. So.
Well, say la vie. Times change.
Can I answer that as well?
Jump on in there.
I found, and Ms. Deb, I may send this to you for your Dusty News Network.
Please do.
It was a Twitter conversation going on, and it was a man who was answering another Black man. It was a Black man answering another Black man's question. And the initial question from the first Black man was, why are Black women now exactly what we're talking about? Why are Black women not wanting to marry us and, A, B, and C anymore? Women don't want to marry us anymore, and Black men don't trust Black women anymore. well, what's the problem? And the brother answered, and he said, well, these women are forcing you all to actually be likable and bring something to the table. And the truth is, a lot of us are not likable. A lot of us haven't been bringing anything to the table. Back in the day, you know, our mothers or grandmothers, great grandmothers, they had less to choose from because, you know, couldn't get your own bank account, couldn't get a job, didn't have access to the education and everything that we have now. Sometimes the only way a woman could get away from her situation was to marry and, you know, hopefully get something out of that because it was socially acceptable. And his point was, nowadays women don't need you anymore. They're getting their own jobs, getting their own education, they're traveling, they're choosing their happiness over dealing. And he was referring to Black men like himself. They're choosing themselves over us. And a lot of Black men are butthurt about that because it's taken away access to something that they took for granted for decades. And that's why they're upset. You take away, you know, like a kid's favorite toy, watch them have a tantrum when you put it up on the shelf. Now they can't have access to it anymore. Now they're
okay for my daughter.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the reason why we.
Okay, so what about the women though? How come the Black women are getting upset? Anybody got a view on that?
Because we ain't in the trenches with them no more. Misery loves company.
Crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yeah. Jealous or I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know, because I wasn't saying anything because I'm just waiting for this show. So they got to going off and talking. I'm just like, oh, just reading and not responding, just looking.
I think a lot of these only, I call them only at McDonald's, only Black women out there are mad because there's been a truth told that there is options for Black women. There are options for Black women that are very viable, you know, outside of dealing with colorism, texturism, featureism, all of the chaos, all of the dysfunction. And they're mad because they are willing to put up with that dysfunction to get these, you know, said IBMs, right? And they want, you know, they don't want, I felt really, I'll be honest, and it's no shade to, you know, y'all know I'm not with the colorism ish, but, you know, I had some lighter skinned family members, you know, that really were giving me shade after I got married. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that me getting married first, you know what I'm saying? And they had this idea in their head that, like, you know, I wasn't desired because I was a dark-skinned Black woman. And what they realized is, you know, greatness is not desired in dysfunction. But, you know, I'm not missing out on anything. Okay, I'm not missing out on anything. And they're mad about that because they want to convince people what a man, right? They want to convince people. And I'm talking about preferences, but, you know, a lot of these pick-me's are not just preferences, which is really bizarre. I'm like, you're not even preferred, so I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I you know, they're mad that there's another option and they're choosing to stick with the BS.
All right, I have one more controversy.
There's a lot of,
go ahead.
There's communion in waiting. There's communion in hoping. Yeah, you have to this day, it's 2021, and you have a lot of Black women who are still waiting on the plantation, waiting for their husbands, their forced marriages to come back with his manumission papers by her and her children and their children. He took his manumission papers a long time ago, okay? And he went and he left. He left, right? So no one wants to be the lone duck. No one wants to be the lone survivor. Nobody wants to be that. And that's why the Black women specifically are upset, because you guys have been sitting around the campfire talking about when your man get out of jail, when your man get off the plantation, when he come back from parole, when he come back from his manumission papers. Just stop.
I would like to ask all of you to maybe list 3 or 4 things that you think constitute a good man. Because what we want to do is establish some standards and criteria that a lot of women don't seem to have when they're looking for a man. And I would like to see, you know, you guys, obviously your minds are different and you have, like some people call it, leveled up your thinking. and therefore changed your life. And I thought it would be a good idea to ask you what your perception is of a good man, what the standards are, what you're looking for, and maybe 3 or 4 things, and then I'm going to start taking some questions from them.
I always say the 3 P's. You got to be a provider, a protector, and a problem solver. So, he has to be able to do all of those. And then on top of that, I like, it's their own personalities, that add to it. Are they caring? Are they respectful to women? How do they treat other people? I mean, you just have to watch them, as they say, like vet them. But yeah, the 3 P's: protector, problem solver, and provider.
Okay. Anyone else?
Does he really appreciate the feminine principle, not just women? Because you have men who are heterosexual, right? But they don't like women. They just have sex with women. Mm-hmm. Does he appreciate the very feminine aspects of what it means to be a woman? When you provide your insight, your wisdom, your knowledge, is he there to hear it? Is he receptive to it? Second, that is resources, right? That's important, because I can't smile if I'm hungry. I'm too busy holding my stomach. You can't eat love. You cannot put love in your mouth. You understand?
Go ahead, girl, with the accent. You pulled it out.
Oh my God. You can't. Right. So, yeah, those are essential for me. And problem solving. Oh yes, that's sexy. Can you solve this problem for me? I watch my man
solving no problems.
Put on a tire with just okay. Do you?
All right, can I roll my eyes any harder?
But yeah, that's all I had to add.
Okay, ladies, I would like actually each one of you to, pipe up with a response to it. 2, 3, 4 things, and then we're gonna start taking some questions from the viewers. So you guys get your questions ready.
I'll go next. So this is Lexus Exodus. I'll say, so the first thing, I just want to piggyback on the first caller. So protecting is so important. So if he has me on the front lines fighting for his life, for him, that's our problem. That's a problem. I don't want to be on the front lines fighting for you while you're cowering in the corner and while you can't even protect yourself. The other caller said providing. So be able to take care of your family, be able to provide provision. That's important to me. So that's like a really prominent, really important thing that I look for. Integrity, build me up. Don't be on the other side of the city creating illegitimate babies. Please just have integrity, have honesty, give me peace, help build me up. And I think that's one thing that's lacking within these communities when we're dating within them. So that's what I have.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm sorry. It's kind of hard for me to, because my mindset is again, and I'm going to clarify in a second, but I guess because my mind isn't, I'm not interested in marriage, and because I'm not interested in having a child with anybody, what I look for may not be what the next woman looks for, looking
That's
for a
fine.
provider, looking for,
I'm asking you.
I'm trying to think what
because it could be a platonic friend. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Just what qualifies a man as a good guy in your eyes.
I can actually work with that because one of my oldest friends is a guy. We've been best friends since we were 12, 13 years old, never romantically involved, never tried anything with me. And I had to think about, as you said it, what continues to make our friendship hold. We've been friends for almost 20 years. He respects my space and my boundaries. As his female friend, he doesn't treat me like I'm a vending machine where he puts kindness in and sexual favors come out. He never treated me like that. The fact that he matches my energy as far as my effort, my respect, my you know, his father unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And when I tell you, I cried like I lost my own father. The fact that, you know, he knew that because someone I loved just lost someone that they loved, that hurt me. So the fact that we know we have each other's heart and best interest, and it doesn't ever have to escalate to something physical or romantic, that to me is a real man. A man who doesn't base his masculinity on the fact that he's platonically friends with a woman. You know, a lot of men feel like it's beneath them to have to be in a cordial, you know, friendship with a woman. That's beneath them, because if we're not giving him pleasure or babies, what's our purpose? You know, he never treated me
a lot of them
like
do
that.
feel like that. You're right.
So the fact that he sees me as a person worthy of his time, respect, and effort, that to me is what sets him apart from other men I've dealt with, I would say.
That's
Do you feel that he appreciates your womanness?
Yes, absolutely.
See?
Absolutely.
That's it. Because black men will treat you like you was a whole man. It's like tears don't matter.
Not a part of a man.
Where'd y'all get this girl from? I can't.
I don't know. She just wandered into my life. She just came and said, "Oh, I want to be on the show," and I was like, "Okay."
She just flooded in and got a seat. I'm like, girl, she just
out of control.
Yeah. I'm going off of what Sister Told You just said. You know, a lot of that I feel like has to do with them not being healed through their own trauma of living as black men, right? And not dealing with that, and instead choosing to, you know, immerse themselves in escapism, playing video games, playing sports, pretending to be rappers, right? Things like that. So for me, stability is something that I look for in a man. And that includes consistency, of course, providing and protecting, but also right back to this understanding that you cannot, especially if you know that you're a woman. I've always been acutely aware that like I had to go through a healing journey, and I cannot live under a roof with someone else that has to go through a healing journey and doesn't want to acknowledge that. We can both need to be going through a journey, baby. But if you don't even know you have to be going through that journey, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And a lot of women put themselves in that position every day. The bottom line is a lot of these men are mentally unwell. They need a lot of therapy. They need a lot of introspection that they're not willing to give. So you should look for that in a partner. I need loyalty, which includes fidelity and honesty, right? It's a lot of stuff out here. You know, you want somebody that respects you, not to be disrespecting your body. And also I believe greatly in adoration, right? Like my, you know,
yes.
Cher says it best in one of her movies, right? Like, well, her mother says it to her, right? Your husband's got to love you a little more. And look, it can be whatever it is, but it's got to look like at least he loves you more. You know what I'm saying? Like my husband is very affectionate and reassuring to me, and just totally different than anything I grew up with. And, you know, he understands that I can't, that I'm not the most affectionate person because I didn't grow up with it. I wasn't given it. And so I have a hard time with this. So I go out of my way to be affectionate. He's automatically affectionate. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, get you a man that loves you, that worries about you, that wants to call you every day, that, you know, I've told the story a million times when me and my husband first went on our first date 11 years ago. You know, I went to fake deep dive for the wallet. You know, I was like, whoa, like slow motion. And, right. And he said, if you're going to be my girl, all right, and this is a waspy American guy. He said, if you're going to be my girl, I got to pay for you. He said it just like that. I was like, you know, this changes things, all right?
I love him.
Really, right? You know what I'm saying? If he can't pay for half a diner meal, these dudes will come to me, why he had to pay? Why he had to pay? If he can't pay for half a diner meal, I'm never speaking to him again, period. Half a diner meal, dude, with what y'all expect? Come on. Really, really value your body and who you are, and make the men in your life do that as well. And like I said, if these colorists, texturists, featurists, self-hating dudes ain't gonna do it, then you know what you got to do.
All of that. Okay, let's open up the questions now. And if your question is for a specific panelist, please use the @ and then type their screen name, and then I'll know, you
Miss
know.
Deborah? Miss
Yes,
Deborah?
ma'am.
There's a question that I get in my inbox sometimes, and I would like to address it.
Oh,
Can I do
okay.
that?
Well, let's start off with that while they get their questions typed.
Okay. Someone asked, how woke does your white spouse need to be? And I'd like to answer this. Your white spouse needs to be woke enough to empathize with you as a Black woman, but woke spouses are no fun. They are not. You go woke, you go broke.
Oh,
Okay?
damn.
Making
She was
concessions.
a poet and didn't know it.
Look, I find it very suspect if any man can empathize with the plight of another man, so much so that he would make concessions for Black men. That's suspect to me. Okay. When you decide that you want to divest, there is no room to negotiate, sympathize, empathize with the Black male plight. You leave that behind. It's not his business. If he married you and is doing right by you and your children, that is the biggest gift he could give to the Black community as a whole by doing right and loving a Black woman. That is the biggest contribution he can make. And that is how woke he needs to be.
Oh, that's
Okay?
a good answer.
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
All right,
Amen.
here's our first question. What was it about Black men that Black women believed was so attractive and beneficial that they were willing to sacrifice their well-being? Anybody have a thought?
Nobody wants to turn in their art project and get an F, right? So you just kind of bullshit it a little bit. Like this is a product of my womb, and you're like a used car salesman trying to sell this car. You're trying to make it a viable thing, and it's kind of like, it's something you made, so half your heart is into it. But that's just the reality. Just we're out here being used car salesmen a lot of the time. Take your L and go sit down.
Anybody else have insight?
We were brainwashed. We just was brainwashed to. We were told they were kings and that the white man was so hard on them and they can't get a job and they just need our help and our support. And if we just help them and go half on the bills and do this and that and help them fill out job applications, wake them up for work, you got to do it all. It's like, for me, it's like we were told, oh, they're getting it so hard. But when I'm out here and I'm getting benefits and I went through the same thing that you did and I'm able to get a college education and get a well-paying, career, it's like, why can't you do it? So for me, that's what woke me up. It's like, I'm doing it. Why can't they do it? I'm in college and I don't see any Black men. Very few when I was in college. And it was just really sad and pathetic. They didn't want to do anything with their lives or better themselves. So for me, I was brainwashed. I'm like, oh, let me help him. He just needs this, he needs that. Nope. We were helping them and to just continue to be failures and giving us our all and nothing was getting put back into us,
Mm-hmm.
So I think once you finally wake up and be like, okay, this isn't working. I'm not, it's not reciprocal here, and we wake up and it's like, okay, I'm done. It's just like a light switch one day,
Okay.
I think lack of exposure as well too.
Exposure?
Yeah, this lack of exposure. When I was a hairdresser, I got like shoulder to shoulder with a lot of upper echelon people, and I found that there was benefits that I had never been privy to, and that became more attractive. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me go down, scroll down, and see who else has a question. Anybody else got a question?
I mean, the fact of the matter is they just don't want to do better. And it's really sad, and just Black women just have to stop caping for them. and just let them fall flat on their face. And if they want Black women, they need to show us and do better. But for me, I'm done. I mean, I've been married. I'm good. I don't think it's a wise decision
You
to
know what
even.
kills me is so many, the Black women will call themselves divesting, right? They move out of Blackistan, and they cut ties with those kind of people. Okay, but then they still have these relatives, as Sister Tosha was referring to. So they have those crazy people coming to their new location and bringing that dust and trauma and drama with them. So it's like, okay, when they had this mentality, oh, well, that's my family. But it's like, okay, if you gonna have them in your new spot, why you should have just stayed where you were then? Because they're coming over every weekend to swim in your pool and enjoy the suburbs and everything.
I moved an hour and a half away. Nobody comes out to my house. They came out
coming.
to come out for the housewarming party, and that was it. And the only one that I really had to divest from, unfortunately, is my son, because he is 21 and has dusty tendencies. And like you said, it's like, I didn't even know if I was going to tell him where I had moved to. I'm to the point where it's like you say, you just have to let them be. They don't visit. They didn't visit me before, though, when I was in Blackistan. So why would they visit now?
They nosy. Here's another question for you, ladies. How do you deal with people in your life who pressure you to date as a Black woman? She says she gets it from her mom, dad, grandma, and everybody. She's one girl with 5 boys, and they never get told that.
I don't even know, sis.
Brainwashing.
Never did me like that.
I really don't pay attention to it because I happen to grow up in an area, it was predominantly Black and Latino. And Latino guys love talking to me. And it was never, I don't care what people.
Mommy.
I don't care what people have. Oh, well, you need to be, dating a Black man because I've been told that it's my duty to do that, to create more Black children. So again, it's my duty to just find any nignog out here to procreate with, because that's my societal duty. You know what? I don't have anything to say to people like that. And again, because it's none of their business. But B, something that I've learned since being around, different people is that you never learn how to grow as a person if you only stick around people who look and think like you all the time.
Exactly.
That's how a lot of us got to where we are today. If you're only staying around people who eat the same foods and already, go to the same places, already look and think like you, how are we supposed to learn and grow and become a multifaceted, cultured person? And again, I'm not going to be the type of person I want to be if I'm already hanging around guys who either aren't doing anything with their lives or, I'm already familiar with your type. I can't learn anything new. It's the same track over and over and over again. Different CD, different track. I don't want that. But to answer the question directly, who cares what they have to say? It's your life. It's your business. If they have a problem with that, they need to go see a pharmacist. Because what you have going on is not their business.
Yep.
All right, we have another question. She's asked us, what do you do when a Black male tries to bash or discredit divestment by bringing up the possibility of Black extinction? That happens a lot, actually.
Bring up
burden and carry.
They were dating out, because Black men, the statistical fact is Black men date out more than every other group of men combined in America. So all other groups of men, including white men who outnumber them greatly, all these other groups of men combined do not date out as much as Black men do. It's time for them to start taking responsibility for what they're doing and stop deflecting. That's exactly how I answer it. I let them know what they're doing,
Okay. Yep. I want to add to that
doing
too.
It since
a lot of the time,
forever.
A lot of us don't want to admit it, but a lot of our ancestry comes from less than noble places, right? So a lot of us, when we got to the shores of the United States, a lot of us were born from fathers who were prisoners, because they had misbehaved and they had gotten banished from the entire continent of Africa. Okay. You know, so like a lot of these folks is our daddies. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that burden of responsibility is solely patrilineal. It is you that has the seed. So it's not my problem.
I don't know whose friend is she.
It's like, who brought her here? Somebody come get that girl.
You know, come get your friend.
She leaving with y'all. I'm sorry. Love everything she's saying. She's leaving with y'all though. She can't come home with me.
Oh, okay. We got another question here. It's for everyone. What can those of us who are divested do to prepare the younger generations of women across the diaspora to put their best foot forward?
Have a daddy that's a good example.
And I wonder what she means by put their best foot
forward. I don't know. I would just say lead by example, you know? I mean, when people see me living my life and I'm happy, I swear I look like I'm 43. And I always get told I'm in my 20s, but when I divested,
was talking about how you was glowing and looking out. She's all glowing up and
10 years off of my life, okay? Like, I look so good. I feel so good. I'm so happy. People see how happy I am. They see, you know, us going on trips and doing things, and you know, because I posted on social media, and it's like, I think when you lead by example, that's when I get people coming to my inbox. I want what you have. How did you get that? You know, what did you do? And then at that point, I offer them the information. If I try and push it on them, they're usually, they don't want it. Right. But you got to wait until they're ready. And when they're ready, then I'm here, you know. That's what I do. I just try and lead by example. It's like, do you want to continue to struggle, having men cheating on you and doing all this stuff, or do you want to be happy? I mean, what do you want?
Here's another one that might be kind of interesting. What do you think of the argument that divested women don't or shouldn't have an opinion on the current state of the Black community?
I get that all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, it's like, you can't speak on this. It's like, I'm Black, my mother is Black, my son is Black, everybody in my family is Black. What do you mean I can't speak on it? You know, just because I married somebody outside of my race, that has nothing to do with me checking y'all on your behavior. You know, it's like, just because I'm looked at as a traitor in a way, you know, because I married someone else outside of my race, but that has nothing to do with what's going on in the Black community. And I'm, you know, so I get that a lot personally.
It's victim bashing. It's victim bashing. It is, because a lot of us, and even people that stay and remain in Blackistan, they'll ask you, well, who hurt you? Stop it. You kill yourself. Look, because it's kind of like one of those things where, like, something happens to you, right? And you're a victim of it, right? Mm-hmm. And they say, and they try to hush you. I was like, no. I'm from Baltimore, okay? I have something to say. So they just want to tell people who are products of Blackistan, which is, you know, myself and some of you girls here, that we don't have a voice. No, they're just trying to hush victims because you're talking about them. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. It's bullshit.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Oops. I forgot I scrolled down and it's like, oh, I need to find a question. Okay, I have one final question, and this, you know, kind of goes into politics, but it's become a big argument. I saw a whole room on this on Clubhouse the other day. So when we're talking about, I know that, ooh, girl, you talking about Hood Rat Central. Ooh, my God. Okay, but this, you know, this is an important issue that may come up repeatedly. These women were upset, and these were sisters, you know, they were upset because they feel like the divestment movement focuses on het cis women and excludes trans women. And why, I'm telling you, I could not stop rolling my eyes. I just want to get your thoughts. And that you know, it is based on transphobia, and that it's, you know, exclusionary and all the, it's just a whole bunch of negative things. But have any of you heard this? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I've not heard this, but you know, I think a lot now. Now, because when we define divestment, we said, does it serve you, right? How do trans women serve me? I already have white women trying to emulate my image. You know what? These are just games. These are just mental gymnastics that they're trying to play with us. No, look, it's forever long. If you have a penis and you try to interject yourself into spaces in these conversations, you'll still hear a whole threat. How is it? Because let's 9 times out of 10, if they're talking about trans women, they're talking about Black trans women. So that means you are dusty, right? So
Yep.
why should I? So why should I make room and concessions for you? That's still making room and concessions for a Black man.
And that's how I feel too, because it's like it's just another version of a man.
Yeah.
You're not a woman. You know,
No.
you never will be a woman.
No.
And it's like when they talk about all the Black women being murdered because, you know, how I've read this article, it talked about the new murder statistics that are being tracked of pregnant women. Pregnant women is the new high risk homicide. There's a link rather to the, you know, high risk homicide for women who are pregnant, especially for Black women, and the primary age group just seems to be 21 and under. So, you know, and this is something you ain't going to experience that with your wearing marching around yourself. So it's like the kind of stuff that we're talking about that impact, you know, women who want to get married and have kids and do this kind of stuff. It's, you know, it's a conversation that doesn't include you. And it just seems like there's a lot of narcissism where they feel like everything that we talk about women has to include them. And it's like, no. Just like if I'm talking about 6 feet tall basketball player women, they ain't going to put me in that conversation with my 5'5" self. Am I going to have an attitude about it? No, because it's not about me, you know, and it just seems to be a real problem there. So, you know, so Sister Toda said she had never heard of it. Have you, any of the other panelists, have you heard that kind of commentary or seen it anywhere online?
Not that I know. I haven't heard that, no. But like you said,
That
they're
means you're
always
going to be in Clubhouse.
They're always trying to come into our spaces.
I don't.
That's wow. You haven't missed anything. You have not missed anything. But yeah, I mean, it was a real fight. I mean, you know, like people were getting heated in the conversation. I listened and I was just, I only listened because of the show was coming, you know, and I was trying to get a feel for how people.
Because that's the reason why that's happening is because women in general, not just Black women, but women in general are too agreeable. A lot of us are too agreeable. A lot of us are willing to make concessions for people that don't look like yourself, people who cannot relate to your struggle. That's actually the nature of women. The nature of women is to be agreeable, right? But a lot of us have a problem using our feminine discernment. You understand, women's very presence makes men insecure. We are there to judge you with harsh critique, to make you insecure, to bring you to yourself, to hold the mirror to yourself. And if I hold that mirror to yourself and in your reflection, you don't like it because you have a penis, that's your prerogative. It's not my prerogative. It's not my issue. It's not my beast of burden. I'm not going to carry that. That's your L. I'm sorry that you were born a man. That's for all colors of men, honestly. Men are brutes. They are. I
think it's a problem because, you know, with women,
they will interject themselves into feminine spaces.
They always
are brutish in nature.
Think that we're supposed to always be thinking about them, and that everything that we do is supposed to be in some way taken care of or in support of them. And it's their socialization, and you know, a lot of women are in full agreement. But like you said, you know, the women that agreeable thing, I didn't get that gene. I just I didn't get that. I came out the moon being an asshole. As my dad tells me.
Good. It's
And I
that
haven't
being so
stopped.
agreeable that gets us caught up. You have to be agreeable to follow the least productive men in society. You have to be agreeable.
Yeah, I don't know why
Exactly.
they don't understand that. That's kind of interesting.
I'll
But
be
I want to
back. I
give
gotta charge
everybody
my
here
laptop.
an opportunity to, make your closing statements before we close out the show. I want to say, while you all are still here, thank you so much for responding to my cry for help. You guys have been fabulous. I mean, just totally exceeded my expectations. The articulateness, the funniness, the knowledge, and the willingness to share openly about, your personal experiences. I know I appreciate it. I'm sure the viewers do as well. Okay, but I'd like to give you a few minutes to, everybody an opportunity to sum up your thoughts on this issue and what you think would be a good path for someone who wants to, learn a little bit more about this or start changing their male mate selection process and friend, any the men that they associate with. What kind of things would they be looking for? So, whatever tips you have in your parting comments.
It is your inalienable. I'm sorry. I'm just that aunt. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
I do want to hear what you have to say, and I will. But I wanted to address something Ms. Deb said. Someone had asked in the comment section while we were talking about something else. They were asking what would be the best place to meet for a woman who's choosing to divest in Black men. Where would be the best dating site to meet non-Black men? And my personal answer to that was, do not try a date online. It is dry. What I would suggest as someone who's dated predominantly non-Black men, you have to, and some people may disagree with this, you have to go where they are. Exactly. Be where their environment is. If you're used to hanging out in a specific, place where you're going to attract Black men, go where, go to where non-Black men are going to hang out at certain, because of COVID, that may be a little bit more difficult.
Golf clubs, CrossFit.
Going to my sister is married to an Asian man, and their thing is food. She was a culinary student. She spent a lot of time in Chinatown. She spent a lot of time in that neighborhood shopping and interacting with people and things like that. And they had that in common. If you wanted, Latino men, well, again, I met all my exes before COVID, but the type of Latin clubs that they would frequent. I speak Spanish. Pick up a language, Spanish, French, Polish, Portuguese, whatever, they love that. When they see a Black woman who's bilingual, oh, they eat that mess up. If you're looking to, meet different men of different cultures, different races, you got to make your presence known when they see how beautiful you are and and again, if you speak their language, if you walk with purpose and you carry yourself not like you're shy and like you're afraid they're going to reject you, but you say, hey, I'm here. Would you like to speak to me? Would you like to, get to know me and see what I'm about? A lot of non-Black men, they love that. They love that. Don't be afraid to take up space. As far as that, but as far as divesting, as far as women who want to follow in this path, don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to think for yourself, and just whatever doesn't benefit you, whatever isn't bringing you happiness and joy in your life, don't be afraid to let it go. There may be some isolation, but I can tell you from experience, one of the best decisions I've ever made. I have so much happiness and peace in my life right now. Look for peace and you will get it.
Tell it, girl. All right.
I want to add this. Look, I'm going to get to the question, but Black women, it is your inalienable right to look for good quality men. All right. All other races of women are moving in such a way that really serves themselves, right? It is your responsibility to procure a life for yourself and your offspring, okay? To put yourself in proximity to success, right? We don't need cortisol levels. We don't need that struggle of bullshit, all right? You're not obligated to stay race loyal. It's bullshit. You're obligated to, your obligation is to yourself and the offspring. I want you to understand that the men that you procreate with, you're going to inherit their socioeconomic status. And that's going to reflect on yourself, your waistline, and your children. All right. This is called the human race because it is a race. And everybody else is playing the game besides you, right? And I have so much more shit to talk. So follow me on YouTube, Sister Told You.
I'll follow you.
Because we're going to talk about the fluffy and we're going to talk about the not so fluffy.
All right. Anyone else?
I want to say, this is Danny. I want to say, you know, everyone has such great points. Thank you so much, Miss Deborah, for having me on the show. You are a legend.
Oh, there we go. I'm back now.
Yes, you are a legend on this side of YouTube for real. And I think that, you know, people need to start putting some more respect on your name, because I've seen you around from the beginning, and you remained consistent in helping Black women. So I thank you for that. I thank you for having me a part. I'd love to be a part again. And I've enjoyed talking with all of you on the panel as well. Beautiful ladies. I want to say to all of the viewers, you know, divest for yourself. Do it for yourself. And in doing so, you will draw people into you. You won't have to keep trying to seek them out. You really will. And remember, the numbers don't lie. All right. These dusties, they have divested in a way for themselves a long time ago. It's one-sided loyalty is for suckers. You know, there is no reciprocity. It just is what it is. Y'all waking up every morning, women. Good morning, beautiful men. I don't see them saying good morning, beautiful Black women. I don't see them celebrating, you know, the Black woman's image. You know, I was in the car today and it was light skin on the radio. You know, I was like, what is this song about? You know, and I think it's so sad that Black women have to grow up and endure this. I really do. So create options for yourself. There's a strong anti-education agenda going on right now in the dusty sphere of YouTube. I will encourage you to toss all of that out the window. And education is imperative to healing yourself and self-awareness, and also into meeting a lot of these top tier, high quality guys that you want to meet. These are the spaces you're going to meet them in. If just bumping into them, that might not happen. You might not have that charm, but you could very well go to school with one. You know, so keep that in mind. That's where a lot of men are meeting their wives. A lot of better men. Okay, so just invest in healing yourself and breaking generational curses and trauma. And again, you're going to draw this positive energy into you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I'll just say, if you're looking to meet people of other races, go run your errands in the areas where they live. So if you got to go grocery shopping or to the pharmacy or to the gym, get a gym membership over there. Just put yourself in that area. I personally moved way out into the suburbs and I had started working out there. So that's how I, it's mostly white. It's only 3% Black, where I'm at. And where I live now, it's I'm probably 10 Black people in my town. But
both of you. It's both of you.
Yes. But it's just get out there and be receptive. Don't be oh, that's a white boy. Be receptive to talk to them, and because you never know, you might like them. And I mean, I just want to also say, put it out there. It's it's a myth that Black men are the only ones that can fuck, but that's not true. The white boys can do it now.
Okay.
So don't think that's the only place you're going to be able to find, good peen. So
yeah. So go to go to zip codes that are a little bit more further removed from Blackistan, right?
Yep.
So, and like she said, like Mika said, get a gym membership. Look, I'm a CrossFit coach, right? And I see CrossFit has always been something that's hilariously white. Right. There's a lot of white folks that do CrossFit, and a lot of them share share conservative values. And Black women don't know this, but they're very conservative by nature.
Yes.
Asia said it. Black women are one of the more religious groups, right? And that's also what I'm talking about when I say when you divest, you have to change your train of thought. But that's another conversation. So you have to get in proximity. You have to get in proximity. See, that's my husband checking up on me. You have to get in proximity to spaces where they're making money, right? Because when I was picking a town, I looked at the keys, the car keys that my prospect had, right? I live in Georgia, right? So I want to put myself near the working district, Midtown, right? Okay, don't be afraid to go out by yourself, right? Because
Yep.
when you're by yourself, it's a little bit more inviting. It's less intimidating.
Yes, don't go out with your friends and stuff. They'll be more intimidated. Like, just go out by yourself. Learn how to have fun by yourself.
Exactly. So those are some of the things you want to consider when you're wanting to date out.
These are all very doable things. Okay,
Yeah.
other comments?
And don't sleep on middle class Matt either. I mean, it's a lot of 6-figure people out there, but if he's in the lower, don't sleep on him. He could still be a provider. And, I say a lot of people want to be like, oh, I want to marry a millionaire and stuff like that. I mean, that might happen. It might not. But like I said, don't.
More money, more problems.
Right. You know what I think is attractive? A man that owns his own business.
Me
I think
too.
that's very attractive. You can't be fired when it's your own business. You understand? So.
Okay, ladies. More closing comments. Who didn't speak up yet? No? Did they get everybody?
Thank you, Deb. Thanks for having us.
We got everybody. All right, then. Well, thank you, guys. You were wonderful.
Thank you,
I
Ms.
loved
This
it.
was so much fun.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. If you want to see more about me, you can follow me on Instagram, Ola Shiro, OLA.SHERO, OLA.SHERO. Oh, that fell out. Y'all know I'm on the East Coast. R.
And I know Danny and what happened to Lexus? Well, you know what I'll probably do? I'll just put your guys' contact information in the show. How about I do that in the show description? That'll make it easier. Then people can just
Thank you.
So, just email me what you wanted to say and I'll put it in there.
And hey, Black women, y'all need to know. I just got a message from a gentleman from Sweden, and he said, I'm really interested in dating Black women because I sell t-shirts that say Black women matter. And he was trying to get himself, and I think he was trying to get himself like a large or extra large. And people from Sweden, this is probably one of the more homogenous countries, right? My spouse is actually Icelandic, and there is an enigma about.
Uh-oh, somebody froze again. I accidentally put Shay on a timeout. I know.
All right, we're back now. Okay. Anyway, look, Black women are like Esther. Yeah, you are beautiful beyond comparison. So just know that.
Well, thanks, you guys. I'm going to close out the show and promote what we got else going on, what other stuff we got going on. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Miss Deborah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's our panel for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I thought they were fabulous. And I want to remind you, let's see, what do we have coming up? Okay, Tuesday is What the Fuck Tuesday, our usual show. But Thursday is I don't know. It's like you're going to be able to post your comments and you can call in. And if, we're going to post the link so you can actually get on the show and share with us what your pet peeves are that men do. What drives you crazy about the opposite sex. Because actually, I'm going to have men, let men do it too. But yes, ice cream cake, I'm telling you, that's what happens. You get that glow up when you don't be having people bothering you and working your nerves. And I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. I drink like this right here. This is water made with some that African rooibos tea, but I made it into iced tea with fresh lemon in it and a little slice of ginger to make sure I get my water intake in, because I don't like to drink plain water. Oh, this person here is just driving me crazy. So yeah, we got that coming up on Thursday. And if you want more information, just look at the upcoming videos, which shows the content for the channel. But, if you're not already a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscription button. We always do a lot of great things here, and we still have another couple of weeks of our Friday night Dusty News Network. It's a total laugh-a-thon. It's nothing serious. It's just about whatever kind of crazy things the listeners, the viewers send in. There's crazy memes, screenshots of comments, graphic images and all kind of stuff. They send in, and we put that together into a slideshow, and then we look at it and laugh and drag people. That's the content of the show. It's funny as hell. So hopefully we will see you on Friday. Let me see. What do I need to do here? That's right. I got to put my little end screen up. Make sure that you guys, like I said, hit the subscription button, hit the like button before you exit today if you can. And please share a video. We got like 950 videos on the channel. Just a couple shy of 950. So there's lots and lots of stuff to choose from. Just share around and make your comments about the show. And if you like panels, this is something that we can do more often. They have a great audience, a lot of intelligent viewers that I would love to hear their opinions on different things. So you guys go out and enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you real soon.